Okay, let's go over number 4. Convert to standard form. Give the vertex and the y-intercept. So because it's in vertex form, I can easily identify. I could find the y-intercept like we did earlier by plugging in 0, but I'm just going to convert this into standard, and then it'll obviously give me the y-intercept. So we have no coefficient out front, so this is going to be a little bit easier than when we do. So first you're going to do exponent, so you're going to expand. We will subtract at the very end. So I'm going to have a perfect square trinomial when I square a binomial, and then I'm going to get x times 4, that's 4x, and x and 4 times x, so that gives me 8x, and then plus 16. Now I can bring in the minus 5. I have x squared plus 8x, and then when I combine that, I get plus 11. So my y-intercept is 0, 11, because when I plug in 0 for x here and here, I'm left with plus 11. Okay, let's identify our vertex as 4, 3. I'm going to expand my exponent because we do exponents first. I will add the 3 in at the end. I'm going to get another perfect square trinomial. And now I can bring in the 3. If I had a coefficient, I would not bring in the 3 yet. And then we combine our like terms. And obviously now our y-intercept is 0, 19. Number 5, we're going to identify the roots and y-intercept. We can easily identify the y-intercept because it's in standard. And then we're going to put this in factored, and then we can easily identify the roots. So my y-intercept is 0, -5. There's no GCF. My A is not negative, so I can simply use my graphic organizer and multiply 1 times -5, and then my B value is -4. So the two numbers that multiply to give me -5 and add up to -4 is going to be -5 times +1. Make sure that works. Yes. And because A is 1, we do not have to go through all the regrouping. So we're simply going to say that one binomial is x minus 5 and the other is x plus 1. And when I set these equal to 0, so to find your x-intercepts, remember you plug in 0 for your y value. And when I solve, that's how we get the opposite of our factors and our roots. So my two roots from least to greatest is -1 and 5. Okay, 5b, y-intercept, it's in standard form. That's the benefit of standard. Now we're going to find factored form, and that will be the benefit for factored form is easily identifying the roots. Again, there's no GCF. My A is not negative. So again, we're going to multiply 1 times -8. And then we have a value of 2 on the bottom. So I'm thinking, so we're going to have a 4 and a 2, and my 2 needs to be negative in order to get a positive 2. So again, we're just going to have x plus 4, x minus 2, and when I set those equal to 0, that is going to give me roots of -4 and positive 2. Again, your roots are your x-intercepts. Okay, now this time we're given a factored form, so our roots are easily identifiable. So we're going to have -2 and +3. That's where they cross on the x-axis. My y-intercept, we will know that easily once we convert it to standard. However, you could go ahead and just put in 0 here and 0 here. That is totally fine. And so if we put 0 in for x, which is what you do to find the y-intercept, we would get 2 times -3, which would be -6. So, but let's just hold that thought. So multiply your two binomials. And combine like terms. And indeed, our y-intercept was -6. Our roots are going to be 2 and 4. Y-intercept should be a positive 8. Let's check it out. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 8. Yes, we are right. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 8, y-intercept 0, 8. Number 7, convert to vertex. Give the y-intercept and vertex. So it's standard form, so I can see my y-intercept very easily. To convert to vertex, we have to use the vertex formula. So to get your vertex, which is an x and a y, or an h and a k in this case, and so to get the x part of your coordinate, recall it's negative b over 2a. So x equals negative b, so negative 8, over 2 times 1, and so we get negative 4. Now, to find the y value, so this is h, okay? And now we're going to plug in negative 4 for x. Going to use parentheses. And I get positive 16 minus 32 plus 12. I always like to combine my like signs together. And then my y value is going to be negative 4. So this is my h and this is my k. My a is 1. So I'll have h minus negative 4 minus 4. Okay. Here, our y-intercept, we plug in 0 and we get out 27. We're going to find our vertex. So it's negative b over 2 times a. So we get negative 6. So negative 6. And now we're going to plug it in to our equation. So I'll just come over here. So the y part. So this is the x value of the vertex. This is the y part. So we're going to plug in negative 6 everywhere we see. I'm going to use my calculator. So we're going to have 36 times 2. That gives us 72. We're going to say 24 times 6. That gives me 144 plus 27. So according to the calculator, we get 243. Okay, and now let's write that all together in vertex form. So my a is 2. Then we're going to have x minus negative 6 plus 243. Okay, now we're going to convert to vertex form and give the roots in the vertex. So here, once we set each factor, we have 3 factors here. 1, 2, 3. Of course, negative 1 equals 0 is irrelevant. But when we set each of these to 0 and solve, we're going to get negative 4 and 8. Whoops, I need a curly bracket there. So converting to vertex, we're going to multiply the binomials first. That's what I like to do. So I get x squared minus 8x plus 4x minus 32. I really didn't need all these grouping symbols. I'm going to combine like terms. Now, this is not vertex form, but I cannot go straight from factor to vertex, so I have to go to standard. Okay, this is what we was learning before the school closure. Okay, now we have to convert to vertex form, and that's what we were just doing. So what, negative b over 2a. So to find the vertex, negative b over 2 times a, which is negative 1. That gives me 2. So 2 is my vertex. Then we're going to plug that in to standard form. So I have negative. My x is 2. 2 squared is 4 times negative 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 32. So when I combine 8 and 32, that's easy 40 minus 4. So my y value is 36. Now I have what I need to write in vertex form. My a in all of these is negative 1. It's x minus 2 quantity squared plus 36. Okay, number 8b, my roots, if I set these factors equal to 0, 2 equals 0 is irrelevant. So I'm going to get 2 and 4. This time I am going to use, well, no, I still don't need all those grouping symbols. So we're just going to multiply the binomials first. And now we're going to collect like terms. And now we're going to distribute. So if it asks for standard form, you would be done, but we're not. It asks for a vertex. So let's find the x part of a vertex, negative b. So negative negative is positive over 2 times a. So my x value is 3. So let's find the y value. Let's plug it in. Okay, 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18 minus 36 plus 16. Okay, we're going to add the positives, so that's going to give me 34 minus 36. So the y is negative 2. So my vertex is 3 comma negative 2. So we can put that all together in vertex form. My a value is 2. Then we have x minus 3, quantity squared, minus 2. So let's pause on this one and come